What's up, everybody? Steven Zekiller here, bringing you more reaction videos every day, so never miss out. But before that, 72% of the viewers watching my videos are not subscribed. This means two things. You're either new to the channel or returning to watch another one of my videos. I hope this video is the one that gets you to hit that subscribe button today. In 2025, our goal was to hit 500,000 subscribers. And we were so close of hitting that goal. This year, I'll be pushing my channel further beyond and going past its limits by going for 650,000 subscribers. I'm gonna keep pushing my power forward till I can hit 1 million subscribers. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Z-Killer Army. What's up, everybody? Steven Zekiller here, bringing another reaction to some more amazing Digital Circus. And today we got two videos we're checking out. The first one is the Amazing Digital Circus Episode 9 Alternate Ending. Now, I sat down to grab some videos and all that stuff like normal. I always do this thing where I go check out what has dropped either earlier today. Maybe there's something coming up, like sometimes when people schedule premieres, I check out what's on my Discord and the reaction ideas section. Anything that pops to mind that makes me go, oh, I gotta tackle that right now. And this is definitely one of them. Alternate ending. And yeah, a lot of people, I enjoyed episode 9's ending. I did have still lots of questions, lots of ideas, lots of wants, but it is the ending that we were given. But I do want to see people outside of what we got in episode 9 maybe make some alternate endings and alternate things overall. Because I don't doubt that the people are going to make more on the Amazing Digital Circus side AUs, maybe based off of the outcome, and all that stuff. So I'm intrigued in what this one. And this is actually made by Milky Melodies. In the last month or so, Milky Melodies has been making some pretty high quality like animations / music videos and stuff. So this doesn't seem like a music video, but I am intrigued in seeing what this is all about. So like, of course, and subscribe to the channel. Not only are we checking out that video, we're checking out another one that you guys have been asking me to look into. Every unexplained plot point in the Amazing Digital Circus. So this came out 6 days ago, has over 370k views. Of course, subscribe, like, and do all that good stuff. So we're going to check out these two videos together. We're going to dive into both of them and enjoy them. And if you guys enjoy this type of content, look out for more. Check out what's already available on the channel after watching this video. And let's get into this and enjoy it right now.
From what I saw, we're not real. Just scans of people who are real. I guess.
Okay, starting off like that. Wait. Alternate ending. Oh.
Deep down, I've always known there's really no way out.
Oh, fuck! Whoa. What the? Oh, Caine, my MVP! Oh, Zubal!
We're good for jacks, and there's plenty to.
What the fuck? Oh my god, them learning this and then start abstracting? Oh, fuck!
Day after day's gone by, past the moon and the sun.
Oh, I thought for some reason in my head, after seeing those 5 starting to abstract, they abstract and Jax would have been the only one not to abstract. And then he would be by himself. Which also kind of, in the back of my mind, was reminding me of I have no mouth and I must scream in a sense. Because remember, I guess, spoiler warning of that stuff. But basically, the 5 characters, 4 of them die, and 3 of them get killed basically kind of pity kill, like mercy kills. like so that they can move on from this endless torture of everlasting life and torture by Am. And then the last two, the asshole of the group decides to kill the I believe it was the only female of the group, which could represent Jax and Pomni technically right there. And the asshole basically kills her. He's by himself, and then he turns into a abomination over the thousands and hundreds of thousands of years of torture. So I thought that's where this was going. Genuinely, after they did the fucking song, they were doing the little intro song bullshit, and the 5 of them were holding hands and starting to abstract, and Jax was all by himself because he walked away. Oh my god. What is that on my hat? Some random shit. Okay, let's watch. Sorry.
Now we know why.
Guys, I'm scared. It'll be alright. As long as we're together.
Oh shit, she fully went!
I just hope wherever I go, Queenie's there.
Oh, Kinger. I'm sure she will be.
Oh. King! Ah! Oh, King comes up. No, King! Can't. Well, actually, you're really early compared to when you show up in the actual episode. But what the fuck? Oh, no, he comes and everyone's already gone.
No.
Oh, actually, that makes it even worse because now Caine is truly alone. Oh, my God. All right, I want to watch it one more time. Hold up. If you guys spot anything I may have missed, let me know down below.
From what I saw, we're not real. Just scans of people who are real.
I guess deep down, I've always known. There's really no way out.
Super
Ikenko,
and Kinger too.
Ragatha Jax,
And there's Pomni too. Day after days gone by, past the moon and the sun, and now we know why.
I gotta say, the fact that they started doing the intro song as they fucking abstract is actually twisted and fucking holy shitballs moment kind of thing. And dark. I like it actually, but at the same time, it's just like, what the fuck?
guys, I'm scared. It'll be alright. As long as we're together.
I just hope wherever I go, Queenie's there.
Oh, Kinger, I'm sure she will be.
No.
Oh my god. That was absolutely insane. Alright. Now, let's get into every unexplained plot point in the Amazing Digital Circus. But I will have to say, if this was the ending, well, not exactly at this point of the story, because this was like literally at the start of episode 9. How would you feel if it did end with multiple of them abstracting? I don't know if that would actually have happened, but it's definitely an interesting concept for what we compared to what we got in the last episode. By the way, if you haven't seen my reaction, you can go check it out. All right, let's go. And let's check out this video now.
So episode 9 of the Digital Circus is finally out on YouTube. Since it first debuted in theaters as the last act, one of the main problems fans have with it is that there's a lot of unexplored plot points. I've been making videos on the show since the pilot, so I've seen and talked about hundreds of ideas and theories that fans have had.
I am curious on all the
show's
plot
runtime.
points.
However, by the time the credits rolled in episode 9, most of these mysteries just weren't expanded upon. This was likely just down to the strict number of episodes and the pacing, but I wanted to make a video specifically
I will have to say, if it wasn't for everything that was going on with Gooseworks and stuff, I understand why Gooseworks wanted to end the show But I guess it was also kind of announced around episode 3 or 4 that it was only going to be 9 episodes. Like the max number for the Amazing Little Circus was 9. So it was already pre-planned a long time ago. But I feel like genuinely, if we had more episodes, like say up to 12, things could have been a little bit smoother with the ending. I feel like there were still things that they could have covered, but like I said, it's up to Gooseworks and Gooseworks' vision. So,
going over all the things that were hinted upon or teased throughout the show and then just didn't get resolved in the end. I hope you enjoy. So let's start off with the past abstracted humans. Throughout the show, we see on the doors that there's a bunch of previous humans who abstracted. There's 12 in total, and in 9, Jax abstracts, making it 13. The main few that are specifically named in the show are Scratch, Queenie, Ribbit, and Kofmo. In 8, we see the original group of humans during the flashback. After the episode came out, over on Twitter, one of the character designers revealed the names of the humans from that scene. And they are Remo, Bizco, Ratty, and Spike. We also see those humans again on the mural that the characters create in episode 9. So right off the bat, there's 4 humans that don't get explored at all, being the Cyclops, the Frowning Clown, the Oyster, and the green-skinned character. They aren't ever named, nor do we see their full designs in the show. What's even weirder is that they don't show up in the mural. Based on the timeline of events, these 4 appeared after Ragatha joined in 2008, but they abstracted before Jack shows up. They've basically just forgotten about these 4 characters, which really sucks.
Oh, I don't even know about that. Okay, interesting.
You could put forward the idea that they abstracted so quickly that the cast didn't get to know them, or that they didn't get named, but that just wasn't very satisfying. Caine does the naming process right as the characters join, so they would have names. It's also peculiar because when Jack shows up, the circus is in the best state it's ever been in. All the characters are friends with each other and genuinely love the circus. But once Jax becomes toxic, things spiral. However, there were 4 more humans after Ragatha that showed up and abstracted. If that was the case, things wouldn't be so cheery and upbeat. It genuinely feels like they forgot about these 4 characters and retconned it out. Perhaps
it's probably like there was no time for them to add them. Like, it was like early on, it looked like that they were shown in like the pilot. So maybe they were just there at some point as an idea, but later scrapped.
The idea that they were going for is that Queenie was the last abstraction, but things improved until Ribbit abstracted. However, like I said, missing out on 4 humans just causes the narrative to spin its wheels. It's very odd.
Well, the thing about what he just said there, though, is they were background character like images. They weren't part of the narrative. They've never were brought up. They were never talked about. So I could see them like maybe the original image of them were placeholders for the original group that showed up like later down the line. Maybe that's what it was. Like, since it was pilot most likely that caused it.
Odd. Next up is Scratch. He was probably one of the characters fans were most excited to meet, alongside Ribbit and Kofmo.
I will agree with this. We did not get much of Scratch, if anything. Like, we didn't even get a voice, right? No, we didn't.
His surname was teased early in the Dobby Dog hot dog item on the Spudsies website, and he was named by Kinger in 7. He appeared during the flashback at the start, and we see him again in 9 when Caine is in the flashback sequence. Scratch's character was essentially wasted. He was equal to Kinger in programming skill. Those 2 were essentially the minds behind the AI. His brain tumor is what caused him to create the whole mind file scanning VR headset in the first place. But we don't find out anything more about him. From the way Kinger mentioned Scratch in 7, it's like Caine messed with his mind files, causing him to abstract. Caine reacts in a way that comes across as embarrassed or concerned, like he's aware that he did something bad and regrets it. But this is just a fan theory, we don't get a concrete answer, which really sucks. The scene that takes place in both
Okay, I can kind of agree with that one.
the past and present with Caine was structured really poorly. Myself and most fans initially thought that Caine brought back Scratch and was using the mind files to bring back all the abstracted humans. But no, that's not what he did. It was just...
Yeah, at first I was a little bit confused with that scene too. I think everyone was. But it made more sense the more you thought about it.
It's a scene from the past which wasn't articulated properly. Scratch.
Yeah, it was weird because side by side the same things were happening, but it wasn't like concrete like, oh, this is past Caine, oh, this is present Caine kind of situation. It wasn't as like when it first started you were like, the fuck is going on?
The story as the first abstraction could have been a fantastic way to shape the show's narrative. The characters now are used to people abstracting, but Scratch going insane was the first time it happened. You can imagine the terror and confusion from everyone. It would have been awesome. On a similar vein to Scratch, the mind files don't receive much elaboration or context. Kinger talks about how small they were and Caine found them and got them working again, which is why the humans were added to the circus. In the scene with Caine aura farming up the stairs, he opens the mind files and there's 10 of them. But why is there 10? There were 7 humans in the original cast, not 10. If we include the 4 unnamed humans, that makes it 11, but those don't count anyway because they joined after Ragatha. Maybe 3 of these prototypes were glitched or badly scanned, so Caine wasn't able to transfer them into the game properly, but this just isn't conveyed at all. It genuinely comes across as a plot hole. It's bizarre. Carrying on, Caine just reappears in the void. We don't find out how the deletion worked.
The thing about it is, yes, Goosework is done with the Amazing Digital Circus, technically with full episodes. But I hope and want, after Goose gets a long break from all this stuff, that maybe we can get some YouTube shorts and or not full episodes, and not like shorts as in YouTube short feed shorts, but short animations, like maybe 3 to 5 minute ones every so often of the Amazing Digital Circus, past events that may clear things up. You know what I mean? And even some present / future events after episode 9. I really feel like, one, the IP is too big for them to fully stop. They should still be able to do some stuff. Music videos is another example. All that stuff. It is such a big IP with only 9 episodes. So, yeah. I feel like there could be things solved later down the line with just simple, fun, what if, or not really what if, but stuff to add to the lore, add to the, shut up, alarm. Sorry. Just overall, you know what I mean? Alright, let's go.
Be assumed that the void acts like a recycling bin, so when he was deleted, he was teleported there, but it's just not illustrated that way in the show. I don't actually mind Caine returning. The little moments at the end where he becomes one of the cast members was extremely cute and endearing, but him randomly surviving the events of episode 8 caused that episode.
I would have liked a little bit more context on that, but I think what it is he survived being, like maybe when they locked him up, you know, during episode 8, and he did the breakout and eats the blue one. They tried to delete him first or something, and he was just too advanced to delete. He could only be put to the side. His data was too powerful. So maybe when Kinger accidentally fat fingered the delete button, it didn't matter. It still moved him away back to where. Because what it could be is it just moved him back to where he was put when he first was decided to be deleted by his creators, kind of situation.
To fall flat now. All of the tension is lost. It basically amounted to nothing. Perhaps Jax would have acted differently if he had known that Caine was still around. He was the only one to be upset at Kinger for deleting Caine. That's just a theory though.
True.
This one is quite huge. The Blue AI. The Blue AI, who fans called Abel, was an important plot point, especially after...
Yeah, I will admit, this should have been a little bit more...
During 9, we see Caine remove him, and he treats him like a peer before tossing him into the void. Hey, so Editor Elamau here. Originally, I said that the orb Caine puts in the display at the end was the Blue AI. I think 99% of fans came to the same conclusion, but Alex Rockon revealed over on Blue Sky today that this was one of Caine's world orbs.
So it was a world orb. So the Blue AI is still floating out there. Okay.
It's good that Alex cleared this up, but this is just an intrinsic problem with TADC. They keep having to reveal things on Blue Sky or Tumblr because the show itself doesn't illustrate things properly. Like, we don't know what world that is either, it's just in there for no reason. So yeah, sorry, I just had to come in.
It had a huge focal point.
To clarify that. From the way Caine acts, his conflicting and irrational personality was caused when he merged with the Blue AI. But this just feels a little unearned. It reduces a lot of his past actions. Just simply removing that and saying he's better now is sloppy. We never find out the true purpose of the Blue AI, or why it didn't have a physical form like Caine did. Did it have...
Also, nothing confirmed. Like, I don't think anything it's confirmed yet. It's still speculation, or unless Goosework has come out and said something. But I don't think it's even confirmed still, even though a lot of people want it to be that case, that the blue orb was Bubble. I feel like that is the case. He removed the blue AI. Bubble never came back. Also, if you notice, Caine doesn't have a tongue anymore, and that was part of Bubble. Because earlier on in, I forget what episode it is, but there's an episode where there's a water leak and stuff, and Bubble uses the Bubble's tongue to clog it, and then Caine reforms the tongue back into his mouth and all that stuff, and then he pushes it back, and then Bubble has it back. So the tongue was part of Bubble too. So blue orb gone, Bubble never come back, and no more tongue inside Caine's mouth. So I feel like it is, but it's never been confirmed to my knowledge as right now. You can correct me down below in the comments if that is the case, if it got confirmed or not.
Memories or a personality? We don't know and never will know. It was really cool to see fans theorize that Bubble was the blue AI, or that the blue AI would take back control of the circus, but unfortunately those don't come to fruition. Caine also says that he's less powerful without the blue AI, but we don't see that illustrated on screen either. He appears basically as powerful as before. Abstraction is one of the coolest things about the Digital Circus. From the way the show presents it, when a human goes insane or gives up, they abstract and become a mindless beast. In 8, we see Jax nearly abstract, going through a dreamlike sequence. In 9, he abstracts off screen. This happens for
That I feel like was a failure of episode 9. That I feel like should not have happened that way. That's my only gripe.
Ribbit and Kofmo as well. They also abstract off screen. Queenie too. This genuinely really sucks. Abstraction is such an amazing concept. In episode 2 we got hints about it with Pomni's dream. It's like a virus taking over your body, but the show doesn't ever develop upon it. The merchandise also follows this. We see the characters being taken over by the abstraction eyes. Like I said, it's like a virus that overtakes you. It would have been so cool to see this happen on screen, and perhaps see the characters realise what's happening to them and trying to stop it before it's too late, a bit like Jax in 9. But unfortunately, they all abstract off screen, and they all resemble the same exact model. It also doesn't make a whole lot of sense that Caine can't just bring people back from abstraction. They're mind files. It's entirely possible for him to just bring them back using their original code or something like that. Next is the low poly art style. This is a personal favourite theory of mine, but it's that the circus game looks like it does in the intro. It's this low poly sort of aesthetic, which makes sense considering it's from the 90s. We see this aesthetic in the pilot intro, during Caine's song in 8, and again in the intro for 9, but that's it. Maybe as the game grows and expands, the graphics deteriorate. I always liked the idea that the actual game looked low poly, but it looks HD to the humans because they're used to it. This would explain why the graphics get better as the show goes on. Pomni had just joined, so the shading and lighting was primitive, but by the end she's been in there for months and it looks pristine. The entire low poly aesthetic just feels
I like that idea.
underutilized. It's used for an intro twice and that's it. What a shame. Bubble is a big one. He was a recurring character right from the original teasers of the show. He vanished in 8, and in 9 he's just floating in the void with Caine, but we never found out what his motives were, or if it was him messing with Kinger's PC in 8. It's just assumed that he was Caine's thought bubble, but that's just a fan theory. It was also popular to theorize that he
See, this is the scene I was talking about with the tongue.
was the Bubble Boy virus, but that didn't just a fan theory.
Like, here,
it
let's
was
see.
also
Like, look, he's got the tongue.
popular to theorize that he was
Bubble takes the tongue.
the Bubble Boy virus, but that didn't come to fruition either. That theory was so cool, it's a shame it wasn't real. Caine makes a bubble-shaped cookie in the end credits of 9, which is cute, but it's just frustrating to not find out what happened with Bubble. Such a fan-favourite character who disappeared with no fanfare or a solid conclusion. Kofmo is one of the most theorised characters in the show. I remember when the pilot came out and there were fan theories about him that got millions of views. As his room suggests, he was the first character to really become fearful of Caine. He was scared of him and saw him as an antagonist. In 9, we finally meet him and hear his voice, but his abstraction again just happens quickly in a few scenes and off screen. Jax tells him to go be crazy in his room. Why did he start to see the doors? What was it exactly that caused him?
Yeah, that could have been done better too. Like I said, I feel like some past events, like leading into episode 9, they could have done some of the ideas I came up with, like some shorts and stuff, not even full episodes, just like short videos, like 3-5 minute videos post every so often to give us some backstory of past events and stuff like that, to have more connections. And I really hope that's something they do in the future, because I desperately think that the Amazing Digital Circus needs it.
him to abstract.
And for hardcore fans, that would be really ideal. But low chance that's going to happen.
Did he conjure doors and end up in the void, which caused him to go insane? We have no idea. Linked in with Kofmo, because of the way the pacing works and the loaded storyline, Ribbit's character development flies.
Also, that's another thing. I bet he's going to bring this up. But Pomni was stuck in the void, and she was kind of in a trance thing. So I kind of wish they had more of, like, that, I guess.
In and happens over the course of 5 minutes. We learn about her backstory, and then Jax turns on her and she abstracts, because Jax isolates her from the group. What did her and Kofmo look like as humans? What did they get up to? How did they end up in the circus? They had a dynamic that was clearly close, but that seemingly...
Also, someone else pointed this out, that it's pretty fucked up that, like what he just said, Jax was kind of isolating and pushing her out of the group, but Ribbit and Ragatha were pretty close friends before Jax showed up, it looked like. And I feel like before Jax showed up, I would like once again, a short showing them and their dynamics would have been really nice, or something like that. But it's pretty fucked up. Also, of course, with Ribbit being friends with Kofmo here, and the three of them like really getting along together with all the stuff that we did see. It's also a little bit shocking that Kofmo didn't pick up on certain things to help Ribbit. Or why did Ribbit not go to Kofmo? Like, I understand that she was trying her best to get Jax to not treat her the way he was treating her, but he wasn't changing. It would have been easier on her to just give up. Well, not really give up, but it would have been easier on her to start talking to others, like Kofmo and Ragatha. I feel like they could have helped her prevent the abstraction. And even after the big argument in the snow area, if she went to Ragatha and started talking to Ragatha, that could have helped her prevent the abstraction of her. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's the case.
Goes out the window because of Jax. They just stop communicating for no reason, and Ribbit abstracts. I'm genuinely surprised that Ribbit and Kofmo didn't get their own slides at the end, especially when Kinger, Ragatha, and Gangle knew them. Their existence in the show is basically exclusively to build Jax up, and then they're discarded. It's a shame. Mind control is another recurring plot point throughout the show. Caine lies to the cast multiple times. He has the ability to do whatever he wants to the cast. We see how this impacts Jax. He starts to distrust Caine because his mind gets messed with during the adventures. Like I said earlier, Kinger plants the seed that Caine messed with Scratch's mind, causing him to abstract. Caine also messes with their minds during running the show, and at the end when he gives them nightmares relating to their traumas. This plot point ends up going nowhere. Moving on, none of the cast can remember their names. This is another plot point that runs central throughout the show. It's one of the most theorized things. In 9, we finally learn the
Yeah, a lot of people are wondering if you've... I remember there being, like, theories and other stuff that I kept seeing about that early on. Like, if they learn their names, maybe that is what causes them to abstract, or maybe them abstracting or them learning their names is their way of getting out of the circus kind of thing. I remember seeing a lot of different like theories on that.
Names and what their real life counterparts get up to. But why exactly did Caine hide their names? We never find out. He lets them pick their own names in-game or generates them one, but we don't know why he went out of his way to hide that information from everyone. You could put forward the idea that it's a problem with the mind files, but that isn't explicitly stated anywhere. Similarly, Caine doesn't like mixing AI with humans, but we don't find out why that's the case. Caine has the power to create basically duplicate copies of the humans. He created the evil versions during 5, but they do nothing with this ability. He also reuses parts of the human's likeness, like the Dobby Dog in 4 and Kofmo Tire in 5. It would be an amazing horror set piece to have Caine create a duplicate copy of one of the humans, or maybe bring back one of the abstracted as an AI copy. You can imagine the terror this would cause. The characters would second guess themselves. However, this plot point was basically killed off spawn for no reason by Gooseworks. She explicitly said that they were all humans quite early into the show for some reason. There were so many different routes they could have gone with this idea, but they didn't. Why does Kinger only become lucid in the dark? So once again, this is another plot point that has been around since the pilot. Kinger is lucid in the dark, but is basically crazy in the light. We never do find out why he acts like this.
I didn't even think about that. That truly never was explained. Like, the only thing we can get is maybe the trauma from isolation, but during that same time frame of when he lost his wife to when Ragatha showed up, yeah, he was isolated only with Caine for who knows how many years. I don't know if that's been confirmed of how many years, but when Ragatha shows up, he seems to be not crazy.
I always liked the idea that it was a debuff placed upon him by Caine, since Kinger made Caine like a punishment, or it was
Oh,
caused by
that's
Caine
actually an
messing with his
idea.
head,
Yeah.
but that's not the case. You'd also expect Caine and Kinger to have more dialogue with each other. Kinger was Caine's creator, and Caine knows this, but we don't see them ever bring it up in the show. The most we get is the "Where's Kinger" line, which is really cool, but that's it. The point at which Kinger likely would have gone crazy was once Queenie abstracted, during the time before Ragatha shows up. But once Ragatha appears, Kinger is completely lucid. So, based off the story, he goes crazy after Ragatha shows up and before Pomni appears. What? This just makes no sense. They didn't lay this out properly at all. It's also really
I actually 100% agree with that plot point. I think they fucked up and fumbled on that one for King.
unrealistic for nobody else to have noticed that Kinger is lucid in the dark. He is never seen in his room and spends all his time in the pillow fort. Surely somebody would have noticed. The void was pretty important in the pilot, and then nothing was done with it. Was it the recycling bin?
True.
Was it just a default area or background in the game? We don't know. From the pilot, it's inferred that you go crazy from going into the void, but they don't do anything with the concept. It's quite scary to have this giant liminal space outside the map that if you fall into, you basically die or get stuck in, like in a video game. There's plenty of neat ideas to incorporate the void. Like maybe someone falls in there and gets stuck or something. C and A. So this is the last of the big plot points that are unexplored. The next few after are quite small. But C and A gets no elaboration at all in the finale. Again, it was one of the biggest things people theorized about since the pilot, and they did nothing with the idea. We learned
Kind of not wrong about that. We got some stuff, but not anything crazy concrete or anything like that.
that it was an artificial intelligence company that made Caine and the Blue AI, and then Caine reuses details about it in the circus, but that's it. We know that it's an abandoned location, but we don't find out the fate of the company. We don't know what its ultimate goal was, or what happened, or why it fell apart. The fact that there's just a computer sitting in an abandoned building that somehow still has power 20 years later isn't explained. There's a chance
True!
that someone else could put on the headset and end up inside the game, but that idea isn't utilized at all. How has the PC not been stolen yet? It also would have been cool to see more of the original dynamic of the first group of humans. They would know more about the game and how it operates, and how to conjure items perhaps. So a bunch of details about Jax are left out in the open. We don't find out why he has everyone's keys, why he's afraid of Corn, why he gets his tail back. You could argue that Jax conjured everyone's keys in, but we don't see that happen on screen. People theorize that Jax is afraid of Corn because of a past adventure, but he might just have trypophobia. It's not elaborated on anyway. His tail also randomly reappears halfway through the series. There's no direct in-universe explanation. The carnival. So the carnival was the last area of the circus. Throughout the show, we basically saw the characters appearing in each area, but the carnival was left out for some reason. It would have been the perfect spot for an adventure, or as one of the last locations in the final episode. It just feels really weird to have the show periodically go through all the different areas, and then you just forget about one at the end. So one thing is, how do the characters not know each other's backgrounds? It took until episode 5 for them to reveal things like Zubul working at a bar or Ragatha's history with her mom. But these characters, apart from Pomni, have been shopped together for years. Realistically, these are things Pomni should be catching up on, but instead when they reveal it, it's new info to everybody. It makes sense in real life to be closed off around other people and not to divulge everything obviously, but in the circus there's a lot of downtime between adventures. There's only a few humans, so it makes sense to spend more time together and open up. However, with the way the plot works, they do it in a really odd way that feels unrealistic. During 7, we find out about Caine's office and all of the past adventures. We see a couple scenes from them play out during Jax's flashbacks in 9, such as the Snowy Summit. We unfortunately never find out any more info about these adventures. Obviously, it's not a huge detail, but it would have been cool to visit all those different areas. Like maybe from looking inside the globes, you can see how the events panned out or something. With the way the story occurs, we know that there were years worth of adventures, and we don't ever find out what happened during them. A lot of the show is also spent inside the circus hub itself, which is a bit boring narratively. The adventures were some of the most fun parts, so it would have been nice to see more of them. Gummy Goo.
Yeah.
He has a big role in episode 2, reappears in 4, and has a cameo in 8, but that's basically it. He's used as a plot device for Pomni, and it gets discarded.
Which makes it even more apparent, even for me, why episode 2 is like my least favorite episode. Gummy Goo never really got much. Like that, he's probably one of the best parts of episode 2, and I'm not gonna lie, I like all episodes to an extent. But if I had to rank them, number 2 would be probably the last in that ranking.
It's a little odd that Pom
I still need to make that rank video. I will eventually make a rank video of all episodes. I need to.
or Caine didn't bring him back during the end sequence. They would have a lot more in common since
And also, it would be really not that hard probably for Caine to get Gummy Goo back in a sense, because I guess maybe he permanently deleted them. I guess the mine holy shit world came crumbling down side of Gummy Goo would have not been able to be copied, but he could have brought Gummy Goo back so that Pomni could possibly refriend him.
since they're both basically code. However, Gummy Goo just ends up being used in every merch drop instead, which is a bit of a shame. Next is why did everyone join on October 15th? This is the date that presumably Caine made the circus using the mind files, but we don't learn why it was that date in specifics. Was this when CNA fell apart? We have no idea. In particular, Ragatha joined
Also, yeah, Ragatha joined on the same date. I never even noticed that.
on October 15th.
Why is the Wacky Watch made all the way back in 1996? And Bubble Chef?
In 2008. It's an insane coincidence that she joined on the same day, years later, but we don't find out why that was the case. It feels like they specifically went out of their way to pick that date, and then the plot point went nowhere. And lastly, we have the intro song and the theme. They use it as a way to introduce the pilot, and then it reappears during the finale. In the finale, it gets cut off halfway, and since Caine and Bubble aren't around, there's no intro. Kofmo is gone, and Pomni is finally mentioned in the lyrics. But we don't find out what the point of this song was. Does it play out every day? It's clearly something programmed into the system. It happens regardless of if Caine is present. But it's not really used at all. It just ends up being a nostalgic thing in the finale. Like, oh look, it's the pilot intro again. Remember that? That's cool. When it probably could have been another neat way to expand upon the circus. I always liked the theory that the show ends with the song again and then a new human shows up. That would explain what the intro was for. It plays each time a new human appears. Sadly, that never happens.
Oh, that would have been really cool, actually. Genuinely, at the end of the episode when Pomni does the wave, we get one more intro or something, and then somebody else joins the circus at the end. Oh, that would have been such a kick to the balls, knowing that it wouldn't continue, like we were not getting to season 2. But at the same time, that would have been what the fuck moment.
So yeah, that was all the unexplored and forgotten plot points throughout the Digital Circus. This video isn't a hate video on the show or anything, but more just me laying out a lot of the things that I felt could have been expanded upon. If there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments section down below. And also, give me your thoughts on what I discussed as well. As always, thanks for watching.
Well, there you guys go. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I agree with a lot of these plot points that never got solved, but like I said, my ideas of how they could fix some of these plot points genuinely are like if they do small snippets of things, like animations, not full episodes, but like 3-5 minute short animation, like similar to what VisiPop did with Hell of a Boss. Like we've been getting these Hell of a short episodes. So Amazing Digital Circus short kind of videos would be nice, but I'm not asking for it like anytime soon. Maybe a year or two down the line would be nice, but that's just an idea. You know what I mean? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Stay tuned for more Amazing Digital Circus reactions. I'm not even joking. So many things that are dropping probably every day. And honestly, if I almost could probably make a new video Digital Circus stuff daily with how much content that's been released since episode 9's release. So I try to still balance things as best I can, so I'm not like constantly posting the same type of content. Because you guys do love this content, but at the same time, I like to give everybody something, because not everyone who watches my channel is an Amazing Digital Circus fan. So, but yeah, lots of content on its way, more to come, plenty for you to watch if you haven't seen all this stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, later!
In the pixelated world where the gamers unite, there's a name that shines bright, bringing joy Passion he shares his delight. Steven's killer take us on a